All right, welcome to the premiere of the General Peters Power Rankings Top 10 NFL Teams for the three-quarters point of the NFL season. All right, so let me start by reviewing the halfway point rankings that I had 4 weeks ago. And if we look here, we see back then we had at number 10 the Atlanta Falcons at 6-3. At number 9, the Washington Commanders at 7-2. At number 8, we had the Green Bay Packers at 6-3. At number 6, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-2. At number 5, I had the Eagles at 6-2. At 4, I had the Bills at 7-2, and then at 3, despite having 3 losses, I like the Ravens team here at 6-3, being all the way at number 3, and then 2 Lions at 7-1, and then the number 1 team at the halfway point of the 2024 NFL season. I had the Kansas City Chiefs, who at that time were still unbeaten at 7-0. We'll come back to this. They've since been lost 1 game to the Bills. All right, so now they are standing at 11-1. So as we go to the three-quarters point in the season, we're going to see that 2 of these teams, there were 2 teams here at 10-9 that are erased from the top 10 at the three-quarters point. The Falcons, who are 6-3 here, have dropped 3 in a row, and they got a big game against Minnesota coming up. They're in danger of dropping to 6-7 if they lose that game. The Commanders also fell off pretty big, 1-3 in the last 4 games, now sitting at 8-5. So they are gone from the list, and replacing them are 2 new teams who have not been on this list all season. They were not on the quarter point or the halfway point, but they are now on the top 10 list for the three-quarters point of the National Football League season 2024. And so coming in at number 10 and 9 are both teams that I mentioned being teams to watch out for. In at the halfway point video, I said, watch out. And I mentioned a few teams there that could rise up and steal a spot. And so one of them is a team that won last night. Now, their defense did falter a little bit last night against the Johnny's Browns, but they are a dangerous team. And this is the Denver Broncos, of course, at 8-5 in the AFC West. After they have a bye coming up now this week, and then the intensity is going to pick up big time for the Broncos as they have a couple of big division games. Within those last 4, they have the Chargers and they have the Chiefs. So those 2 games, in my opinion, are going to make or break the Denver Broncos as far as being a playoff team, not just being on General Peters' final power rankings list, but are they going to be a playoff team or not? And those games there could determine that. The other games, in case you're wondering, that the Broncos play are Dewey's Colts and the Bengals. So both of those are winnable games, but they're not going to be that easy either. All right, let's go to the number 9 team, another team that I said watch out for. This team could rise up, and sure enough, they have made it to the top 10 for the three-quarters point in the season, and it is let me fix that. It is a foe of the Denver Broncos. And that would be Bolts' Los Angeles Superchargers at 8-4. They got it done last week they had a short week. They were going up, they had a long trip, and then they were going up against an opponent that had a bye. And so, very impressive way to win this point of the season. Still kind of a conservative offense, but still really good. I put them over the Broncos because I think I like Harbaugh a little better than Peyton, and I definitely think that the experience of Herbert is better than Nick's. So it's a tight one, but the Chargers at 8-4. Now they could be in a scenario coming up where I can see them even possibly losing 3 straight. It could happen. Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Broncos. They could. I don't think they're going to, but they could lose all 3 of those. Look like they're out of it at 8-7. But then they got a couple of easy ones after that. They have the Patriots and the Raiders, so they could lose 3, look like they're out of it, and then get the 2 wins to get to 10-7. Not guaranteeing you a spot in that competitive AFC, but it's a weird scenario that I could see playing out. So pay attention to that as we go into the December games here. All right, number 8 on the Peters power rankings for the 3/4 point. I've got a team that has dropped a pretty long way. It's dropped 5 spots. They were at number 3 at the halftime, at the halfway point, and now the Ravens are at 8, still in the top 10. I still think they could do something in the playoffs, but a lot of question marks. It's going to be, they could easily climb back into the top 5, when the season ends. But they do have an easy one to kind of get like a nice little launch. They have the Giants coming up. Then they got the Steelers on December 21st. Everyone's looking forward to that game. And then they got the Texans and the Browns. So, a possibility there. They could go at least 2-2. Probably not what they want. They are hoping to be division champions, but Ravens at number 8. All right, at number 7, I got a team that's also, there's another one that's no, this is the one that is the same as my last power rankings. They have not changed at all, and that kind of tells you that, 1, they've been consistent in that time period, and 2, maybe I've disrespected them and still disrespecting them, but I got the Vikings, Nelly's Vikings at 10-2. They just keep winning. They definitely deserve respect, and they got next up. They got the Reeling Falcons. So in just 1 week, they could keep climbing, getting a little better. After that, they got the Bears. They got a couple of pretty winnable games, and then Seattle, Packers, Lions. So then those last few games, Seattle, Packers, Lions, really going to test the mettle of the Minnesota Vikings, like those last 3 games. But a couple of good winnable ones here. They don't want to falter down the stretch. Vikings at number 7 on the list at 10-2, same as they were last time. And then number 6 on the list is a division foe of the Vikings. It's not the Lions, it's the Packers. So the Packers, a team that I didn't believe in at the quarter point, believed in a little better at the halfway point. This is a rise from number 8 at the halfway point, from 8 to 6. So an opportunity to throw the NFC North into upheaval with a win in Detroit this coming Thursday night. That would just get things out in complete chaos. They did it in 2023. They won in Detroit in 2023. So Lions a little nervous about this one. And I like how their receiving targets are. While it's not good that they don't have a true number one, I do like how they have a nice distribution going on there. Guys kind of in the 450, 500 yard territory there. It really is good. It shows how well Love is distributing the ball. And Josh Jacobs is a perfect fit for this offense. He's really come on strong lately. He's going to be a big-time playoff contributor for them, I believe. And you got those young corners improving by the day. All right, let's go with the number 5 team. Oh, the Packers. They got after that Lions Thursday night game, they got Seattle, New Orleans, the Vikings, and the Bears. Okay, so a couple easy wins possibly there, Saints and Bears, but other than that, they got some pretty tough ones coming up. Pretty tough ones. They still got they got all 4 division games coming up. All 3 division opponents left on the schedule. All right, number 5 is a team that rose just one spot from I had them at number 6 the last time. Also a 9-3 team. All right, so the Steelers. Now the big thing here is that the Steelers were 6-2. So 6-2, we saw them last at the halfway point. But the big thing here is Russell Wilson 5-1 in his starts, and that does wonders for how far the Steelers feel as a team, as a coaching staff, about how far they can go. They know they have a Super Bowl champion leading the way, and he's playing like he played a few years back with Seattle, and that really makes them feel confident after it was kind of questionable how they were during the first half of the season. Now they're starting to feel good. They got the rest of the team, great defensive nucleus there, and they're just I think they're really enjoying their spot, kind of nestled under Kansas City and Buffalo. Like, don't look at us, but neither Kansas City or Buffalo would want to play them. Trust me. So right now, I think they're right kind of where they want to be. They kind of want to. Tomlin's got them with that mental edge. He's going to work that whole narrative about them being kind of not really talked about as much as the other 2 biggies in the AFC. I like where the Steelers are right now. They got the Browns coming up. They got the Eagles. That'll be a tough one. The Pennsylvania matchup. Baltimore, Kansas City. That's a tough 3-game stretch there. After the Browns, they better win that game. They got the Eagles. They got the Ravens. And then they got the Chiefs. That's a tough 3-game stretch. Finishing off, Cincinnati. And Cincinnati will definitely want to screw things up for their division rival, the Steelers. So the Steelers at number 5, they could drop with that schedule. They could go as far as like 9 or 10, depending on what happens. But I think they're too well coached, too good at defense to me, and a great leader on offense with Wilson to fall that far. If anything, they'll probably stay about right where they are. All right, at number 4, we have. Well, this might tick off some people. At number 4, we have a team that is the same as I had them at the halfway point. I had them at 4. I've got them 4 again. It's the Buffalo Bills. This year's AFC East champions. That's 5 AFC East championship banners in a row, and 7 wins straight for Chalkinator's Bills. Huge, impressive win at home against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Incredible. Jackass Jay has been invisible since that game. They're averaging 30.4 points per game on offense during this 7-game winning streak. So quite impressive. They have the Rams, a big game with the Rams coming up. They should be favored in that one. And then the Lions, the big Lions game is in 2 weeks. Wow. Look out for that one. Lions, Patriots. The last 3 games of their season, while they are division games, they're easy division games. They have the Patriots, Jets, and Patriots again. Okay, so it should be a stretch where the Bills, at worst, will go 4-1. But I know they want to go 5-0. Get that number 1 seeds. The big game is going to be the Lions, but they can't look past the Rams this coming week. All right, Bills at 4. I'm just not a big believer in them as far as being better than the other 3 that I have. Okay, so when we get to this point, the 4, these are the real kings right now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bills are one of those teams. Don't misconfuse me having them at 4 for thinking like I don't think they're a good team. I think they're a great team. The Lions are number 3. Okay, I've got the Lions at 3. Sometimes I think some people have got them at 1 at this point, but going for 11 in a row, boys. On Thursday night, they are feeling good on their perch of the NFC, right on top there. Just don't want the Eagles to knock them off of their perch. And they got the Falcons, Bills, a couple other games. So so they got the Packers Thursday night, a big game. They got Sharks, Bills. That's a couple of tough games coming off for the Lions. This is where I see they might lose 1 or 2, and they got the Niners and then the Vikings. Okay, so Packers, Bills for the Lions. On their last 5 games on their schedule: Packers, Bills, Bears, 49ers, and the Vikings. So it's going to be a tough one for the Lions, I'm telling you. All right, let's go to the Lions dropping from the number 1 spot to 3. So they were at 1 last time, now they're at 3. All right, at number 2, I got a team that drops 1 spot, but still the best in their conference. That is the 2-time defending champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. Just a slight drop off. They're sleepwalking at this point. They've kind of sleepwalk all season. They got a championship level team, and Andy Reid is out of toilet paper, but thankfully he's got the Chargers coming in this coming week, so they should suffice for his toilet paper. They should win that game, and then they got Pittsburgh. They don't have Pittsburgh. They got the Browns, so that should be 2 wins in a row. They got the shaky Texans, and then they finish with Steelers and Denver. A couple of tough games to end. They're going to lose at least 1 more. I think they're going to lose maybe 1, but it's hard to say at this point. So Chiefs at number 2. They're the other team besides the Lions who have clinched a playoff spot. Lions have besides the Bills. Sorry, the Bills have clinched the AFC East. Chiefs have clinched the AFC West. Lions haven't clinched anything yet, right? I don't think they have. I don't think any one of the NFC has clinched anything. All right, next one is the number 1 team. Do the deduction, boys. And this team has risen 5 spots. So they were number 4 spots, sorry. They were number 5 last time. And this time they are the number 1 team in the NFL at the 3/4 point. Playing the best, I believe, is the Philadelphia Eagles, that Zach Brown linebacker and Vic Fangio combo has been really good. Adonis Mitchell, cornerback, is an A-plus pick. It's a hell of a pick. We're talking great defense. You know all about the running game. And Jalen Hurts. And a lot of weapons there. And one of, if not the best, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. If Detroit loses to Green Bay on Thursday, all hell will break loose. So all bets will be off. If the Lions lose that game to Seatown's Packers, all Philadelphia has to do is beat the Panthers, and they are in the number one perch in the NFC. They will have that number one seed going forward. They have the easy Panthers, and they got the Steelers. Tough game there. So that maybe 1-1. I think they can beat the Steelers. The Washington, easy win. Dallas, probably an easy win, and then Giants, probably an easy win. So there's 3 division games to end the year. I think they're all going to be wins for the Eagles. Wow, it's going to be incredible to see who gets that number one seed in the NFC North. All right. So teams to watch out for that aren't on this list, just a few, like one that has not been on the list at all season, the Texans at 8-5. The Commanders were there last week. They're one to kind of watch at 8-5. Seahawks 7-5, and that's pretty much about it. Of the 6-6 teams in there, I guess I would say the Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals. Bucks and Rams, the other two, but it's really splitting hairs. Which one's the best of the 6-6s? So, okay. You can see the power of the AFC North and the AFC West, both with 3 teams on this list. NFC North and AFC West hogging 6 of the 10 spots there. And you can also see how bad the NFC and AFC South divisions are, with 0 representation on the Peters top 10. Okay, if the playoffs started today, just a little fun. If the playoffs were to start today, you would have in the AFC. You would have the Denver Broncos traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. What an interesting game that would be. House money game for Sean Payton's boys, right? You'd have a knockdown, drag out Baltimore Ravens at Pittsburgh Steelers. Kill me game, and this would come after the December 21st meeting. Okay, so that would in Pittsburgh, that was big division rival. And then you would have a game that probably would not get probably not a ton of attention compared to the others. The Chargers going to Houston to play the Texans. I think it'd be a good game, but it probably just wouldn't have the national appeal as maybe those other two. There's always one that just doesn't, and then Kansas City would be waiting with the number one seed. Okay, so that's if the season ended today. In the National Football Conference, you would have another division rival game. You would have the Washington Commander Skins going to face the Philadelphia Eagles. You would have the Packers playing the Seahawks. It's a classic. Packer in Seattle. Wow, it's 7-5. Okay, and then you would have another game. Probably the game that would be probably the least watched would probably be Minnesota going on the road to play 6-6 Atlanta Falcons. Before the season, I predicted that the NFC South would have a 8-9 division champion, and it would be the Buccaneers. Stay tuned; it could happen. So you'd have those 3 games, and you have Detroit sitting at home waiting as the number one seed. That would be your playoff matchups. All right, let's compare one more time. Just take a look at the halfway point and then the 3/4 point, if you can get that all in the camera. So we had, let's see. So we had 5 teams here that were very impressive, have gone undefeated since that halfway point. The Packers were 6-3. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, the Packers were 6-3. Now they're 9-3, so they've gone undefeated. The Vikings were 6-2. Okay, now they're up to 10-2. They haven't lost since then. Eagles were 6-2. Now they're up to 10-2. They haven't lost. Bills were 7-2. Now they're up to 10-2 as well. And finally, the Lions were 7-1. Now they're 11-1. Okay, so those 5 teams haven't lost a game since the halfway point. Pretty incredible. Let me know what you think about the 3/4 point of the General Peters top 10 rankings for the 2024 season. And remember that tonight is Christmas Fest continues. Last night's featured presentation was on the 12th day, 1955. Good film. And before I go, I want to wish the Voice, Mickey Thomas, a happy 75th birthday. Still going strong, still touring. The soaring vocals behind such singles as the Elvin Bishop Group singles, Spend Some Time, Fooled Around and Fell in Love, and Silent Night, and the Jefferson Starship singles such as Find Your Way Back, No Way Out, Stranger, Jane, Winds of Change, Be My Lady, and Gideon's favorite, It's Not Over Till It's Over, and the lead vocals of such Starship singles as Sarah, It's Not Enough, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, Tomorrow Doesn't Matter Tonight, I Didn't Mean to Stay All Night, and We Built This City. Mickey Thomas, The Voice, is 75 years old today. Happy birthday. Many more to you, my friend. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care. Have a good one.